This mysterious book is called Designing the Mind, and it's a how-to guide to creating the life of your dreams. Because the people you see with more money, better health, better relationships aren't better than you. They just understand this one process that makes success inevitable. In this video, you're going to learn the 3 steps to this process so you can exploit your brain's algorithms and actually manifest the life you want. As someone who's been struggling with self-sabotage through most of my 20s, learning this process and applying it in my life has completely changed things in a matter of months. Let's start with step 1. During your childhood, your experiences, the adults in your life, and your environment all programmed you with certain beliefs. These beliefs control how you think and act. If you believe being rich is impossible, you won't see all the opportunities around you to become rich. In fact, the programming that these beliefs have created will make sure that you only see evidence that getting rich is impossible for you. Our brains aren't designed to challenge our beliefs. Instead, they're designed to reinforce our beliefs, which makes it very difficult to change without self-awareness. And that's why the first step in this process is becoming aware of your current programming. In order to change your mind, you must first become aware of it. 99% of people are unaware of the programs that their mind is running, and that's why they feel like a victim in their lives and don't understand why they can't seem to get what they want. Here's how this looks for them. Let's say you find a woman attractive. You see her out in public and immediately you get insecure. Your thoughts start racing, telling you things like, this girl's gonna reject you if you approach her. Then, without even realizing it, you react. You avoid making eye contact and you shrink away from the situation. You don't feel like your normal, confident self. You avoid the situation just like you have hundreds of times to this point, and then you wonder why you don't have the dating life you want. Most men have experienced this situation plenty of times. The situation with the woman has triggered a program in your mind. In this case, the program triggers negative self-talk and insecurity, which leads to a result that you don't want, which is you rejecting yourself and living a lonely life. Now, here's how this situation would look if you had self-awareness. You see the woman, which triggers your programmed response. You still feel the insecurity and you still have those negative thoughts, but this time you don't react. Instead, you recognize what's happening. You realize the situation has triggered your mind, which is now running a program. You challenge the program by reminding yourself that this is just a program in my head and it's not real. You stay present and you approach the woman with confidence. You've now broken the cycle and you've started reprogramming your mind. This is how all change in life happens. It starts with recognizing your mind's programming and making a different choice. The programming you have is giving you the life that you have. Recognizing this and changing the programming is the only way to change your life. But here's the thing, just because you're aware of a program doesn't mean it's easy to go against it. Let's say you've had that same reaction every time you've seen an attractive woman for 10 years at this point. It's going to require more than just self-awareness to reprogram this part of your mind. You'll need to take a more active approach so that you can reprogram this part of your mind and automatically behave the way that you want to behave. And once you've done this, you'll start getting the results you want. And we're going to cover this more active process in steps 2 and 3. But before that, you need to learn to become self-aware. Now, you might already think you're self-aware because everybody thinks they're self-aware, but the truth is, if you aren't actively working to develop self-awareness, you aren't self-aware. Self-awareness is not a normal thing. The normal state for human beings is we go through our day-to-day lives completely unconscious. We follow the same patterns of thought and behavior that we've been following over and over again for years. A good way to tell if you're self-aware is to look at the results you're getting in life, and if they haven't changed in a long time, then you aren't self-aware. Because if you were self-aware, you would recognize the things that are holding you back from making changes in your life, and you would change these things. So we need a tool that's going to help you develop this self-awareness. That tool is mindfulness meditation. Possibly the most important benefit of mindfulness meditation is that developing it causes your mental processes to become the direct objects of examination. It trains you to suspend judgment on your own thoughts and emotions and view them as the reflexive instincts they are rather than as incontestable facts. In other words, mindfulness meditation helps you become aware of your thoughts and emotions so that you don't just react to them. them. I've been meditating daily for the past 2 months, and my self-awareness has been going through the roof. I'm noticing patterns in my behavior that I had been running for a long time that had been holding me back. And because of this self-awareness, I've been able to make big changes in a short amount of time. So if you want to reprogram your mind, it starts with self-awareness, and that starts with mindfulness meditation. You don't need to overcomplicate this. Just take 10 to 20 minutes each morning to meditate. I recommend finding a guided meditation to start. My friend Kenny actually has a free guided meditation course that you can download. I'll put the link in the description. This is not only going to help with your self-awareness, but it's going to make you much more present in your life and a lot more happy. Now that you've got that, let's get on to step 2. This is where we're going to take our self-awareness and focus it on our negative programs. Here's how this works. Think about your beliefs as a map to reality. When the map is accurate, your beliefs and reality match up. For example, you have a belief that if you walk up the stairs in your house, they won't collapse and kill you. If you walk up the stairs in your house and they don't collapse, your belief has been proven true. The more your beliefs match up to the truth of reality, the more successful you will be. Now, what happens if you have a belief that doesn't match up to reality? Well, that's the same as having a bad map. You end up going in the wrong direction. If you have a belief that says, I can't be successful, then you have a belief that doesn't match reality. Because obviously, if other people can be successful, so can you. But having this belief means you never seek opportunities for success. The belief leads to you being stuck in complacency and feeling like a victim. Through our newfound self-awareness, we want to start recognizing these false beliefs that are damaging your life. And once we recognize these false beliefs, we'll be able to move into step 3, which is all about changing them. But before that, how do we go about recognizing a false belief? Not all beliefs are false, obviously, so how do we tell which ones need changing? One of the best rules that I've found is to look for any beliefs that are disempowering. With our previous example of seeing attractive women, you feel insecure and thoughts come up that convince you that this woman is going to reject you. If you examine those feelings and thoughts, you'll see that the belief underneath them is something like, I'm unattractive to women. This is disempowering, which means it's not true. If you examine further, you'll probably find that somewhere in your past, some girl rejected you, and you decided from that moment that every girl from then on was going to reject you. You decided that every woman would reject you and you'd never be good enough. Now, once you've recognized a belief like this, start challenging it rationally. Ask yourself, is it true that all women find me unattractive? Obviously not. You'll find that along with being disempowering, most false beliefs take a single situation and make them a universal truth. You have a past experience of rejection and now expect that every woman is going to reject you. Or maybe in the past you tried to start a business and it failed, and now you believe that every business you try is going to fail and there's no chance for you to get rich. Our goal in this step of the process is to identify our false beliefs and use rational thinking to challenge them. Depending on how strongly held a false belief is, this might take some time. But if you keep recognizing the false belief every time it comes up and proving it to be false through rational thinking, eventually your mind will let it go. And that will free up space for step 3, which is replacing these false beliefs with true beliefs. Once you put a true belief in your mind, you have made your map of reality more accurate. And the more accurate the map, the better your programming is and the better your results in life are going to be. Now, before I tell you how to do this correct, I want to tell you what not to do. There's a lot of content creators who talk about law of attraction and affirmations, but they get this wrong. Trust me, I would know. I spent years getting this process wrong. I understood that I needed to have positive beliefs instead of the negative beliefs that I originally had. So what I would do is I would tell myself positive things and try to convince myself of them. Instead of beliefs like I never have enough money, I would try to convince myself of a belief like I'm rich. I'd tell myself I'm a successful business person or I have 1 million subscribers. I thought that if I replaced my negative beliefs with positive ones, I would magically achieve my goals. It sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud like this, but there's a lot of people who believe this, and a lot of people explain this process of reprogramming your beliefs and making them positive in a way that's not very clear, and so it leads to a lot of confusion. All I accomplished by trying to convince myself to be delusionally positive in my beliefs was that I pretty much just had wild mood swings. I'd convince myself I was going to be super successful, I'd get into a great state of mind, and then reality would hit me in the face. I'd start feeling overwhelmed, depressed. I mean, it actually made me feel worse. The problem with this version of positive belief is that it isn't true. Remember, our beliefs are a map to reality. The more true the beliefs, the more accurate the map. And the more accurate the map, the better our results. When I would tell myself I was a successful business owner without being one, I was telling myself something inaccurate. It was a false belief, the same way that I can't make money is a false belief. Yes, it's positive, which is good, but positive beliefs that aren't accurate won't lead to success. It will just lead to you living in a fantasy land. So here's how you can do this correctly so you can install true beliefs in yourself, which will actually lead to success. First up, instead of positive delusion, you accept reality. Maybe you are broke or unattractive or bad socially. Instead of denying this, you accept it. But in accepting it, you realize that you also have the power to change. You make the belief empowering. Instead of I'm broke and can't make money, it's yes, I'm broke right now, but if I learn to act like a wealthy person and acquire skills for making money, I can be rich. This statement is true. You're accepting reality as it is and realizing that you have the power to create the life that you want to live. And by doing this, you'll be able to actually improve your life. You can start looking at all your bad habits that are keeping you broke and make a change. You can take stock of your skills, your network, and your traits and figure out what you would need to change so that you can become wealthy. You've taken responsibility for this part of your life by programming yourself with a belief that is both positive and true. Here's the 3-step formula for reprogramming your mind so that you can screenshot it. And if you want to learn about the 5 books that will get you ahead of 99% of people, you can click on that video right here.